Hello world, make fun of me and my tie if you want, but I don't really care. I thought I should, since I've had this book for a little while now, I thought I should make a good video reading the first story of it, which I don't think I've even read this story before, so I think we should just get straight into it. Maybe I should put some music on. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Horror and fatality have been stalking abroad in all ages. When then give a date to this story I have to tell. Let it suffice to say that at the period of which I speak, there existed in the interior of Hungaria, one of the two, a settled, although hidden, belief in the doctrines of the metamorphosis. One of the ones. It's a big word. It's right there. Anyway, the metamorphosis of the doctrines themselves. That is of their falsity or of their probability. I have dyslexia, by the way, so if you make fun of me, you're a dick. I say nothing. I assert, however, that much of our incredulity, the comma thing, not really, as Love Brulia says, of all our unhappiness, uvent dina povera etri seals. But there were some points in the Hungarian superstitions which were fast verging to absurdity. They, the Hungarians, differed very essentially from their Eastern authorities. For example, the soul, quote unquote, said the former, I give the words of an acute and intelligent Persian, ni dimor cuyu siu fia dans u corps sensible. That's the one English word in there. Resti u cheval u shin u homme meme nescula resemblance palu tangible de ses animus. The families of Belforzics and Metzengerstein had been at variance for centuries. Never before were two houses so illustrious, mutually embittered, by hostility so deadly. The origin of this enmity, so many vocabulary words, seems to be found in the words of an ancient prophecy. A lofty name shall have a fearful fall, when, as the rider over his horse, the mortality of Metzengerstein shall triumph over the mortality of Bursen. Oh my god, these words are gigantic! Berlifitzing. To be sure, the words themselves had little or no meaning. These giant words, but they don't mean shit, got it? To be sure, the words of themselves had little or no meaning. I already read that. But more trivial causes had given rise, in that no long while ago, to consequences equally eventful. What's up, man? Besides the estates, which were contagious, like the plague, had long exercised a rival influence in the affairs of a busy government. Moreover, near neighbors are Sedlum, friends and the inhabitants of the castle Berlifitzing might look from their lofty buttresses into the very windows of the palace. I hate these words. I'm not even going to say it that time. Least of all had the more than feudal magnificence thus discovered a tendency to allay the errant feelings of the less ancient and the less wealthy. Best love into if you touch my controller. What wonder then that the words, however silly, of that prediction shall have succeeded in setting and keeping a variance to families already predisposed to quarrel by every instigation of hereditary jealousy. The prophecy seemed to imply, if implied anything, a final triumph on the part of the already more powerful house, and was, of course, remembered with the more bitter animosity by the weaker and less influential. Wilhelm, whatever. Count Belfenzering, although lofty and descendant, what are you doing? Descendant, was at the epoch of this narrative an infirm and doting old man, remarkable for nothing but an inordinate and inveterate personal antipathy to the family of his rival. I'm sorry for the cussing. And so passionate a love of horses and of hunting, and that neither bodily infirmity, great age, nor mental incapacity prevented his daily participation in the dangers of the chase. Frederick, Baron Metzengerstein, was on the other hand not yet of age. His father, the Minister G, died young. His mother, the Lady Mary, followed him quickly. Frederick was, at that time, in his 18th year in a city. 18 years are no long period. But in a wilderness, in so magnificent a wilderness as that old principality, the pendulum vibrates with a deeper meaning. For some particular circumstances attended the administration of his father, the young baron. At the decease of the former, entered immediately upon his vast possessions, such as estates were seldom held before by a nobleman of Hungary. His castles were without number. Wow, so he was rich beyond belief. You can't even count the castles. The chief in point of splendor and extent was the Palace Metzengerstein. You already know the word by now. The boundary line of his dominions was never clearly defined, but his principal park embarked a circuit of 50 miles. Wow. Upon the succession of property so young, with a character so well known, to a fortune so unparalleled, little speculation was afloat in regard to his probable course of conduct, and indeed for the space of 3 days the behavior of heir out Herod. Where was I? And fairly surpassed the expectations of his most enthusiastic ministers. Shameful in debaucheries, flagrant treacheries, unheard of atrocities gave him trembling vassals quickly to understand that no servile submission on their part, no I don't know how to say that word. Punctilities of conscience on his own were thenceforth forward to prove any security against the Romulus fangs of the petty Caligula. On the night of the 4th day, don't come over here and touch my stuff. Where was I? Sorry. I literally don't remember where I was. Provide any securities against the Romulus fangs of petty Caligula. On the night of the 4th day, the stables of the castle Barlefisten were discovered to be on fire, and the unanimous opinion of the neighborhood added the crime of the incendiary to already hideous list of barons, misdemeanors, and immoneries. But during the tumult occasioned by the occurrence, the young nobleman himself sat apparently buried in meditation. I meditate too. In a vast in desolate upper apartment of the family palace of Metzengerstein. The rich, although faded, tapestry hangings which swung gloomingly upon the walls, represented by the shadowy and majestic forms of 1,000 illustrious ancestors. Herr, rich, emerald priests, and potential dignitaries, firmly seated with the autocrat and the sovereign, put a veto on the wishes of a temporal king, or resigned with the I got distracted. Resigned with the fiat of papal supremacy, the rebellious spectra of the arch-enemy, there the dark, tall statures of the princes of Metzengerstein, there muscular war structures of the princes of Metzengerstein, there muscular... I just reread that! Plunging over the carcasses of fallen foes, startled the steadiest nerves with their vigorous expression in hair, and again the voluptuous swung like figures of the dames of days gone by, floated away in the mazes of an unreal dance to the strains of imaginary melody. But as the baron listened, or affected to listen, to the graduous increasing uproars in the stables of Beethoven, or perhaps pondered upon some more novel, some more decided act of Odyssey. Wait, did I say that right? Yeah, Odyssey. His eyes were turned unwittingly to the figure of an enormous and unnaturally colored horse, represented in the tapestry as belonging to a Saracen ancestor of the family and of his rival. The horse itself, in the foreground of the design, stood motionless and statue-like, while further back it, discomfited, perished by the dagger of a Metzengerstein. I think that's good for now.